It's the time of the year again, time for my bi-monthly Empties update. I think I'm gonna try to do these Empties videos every 2 months. It'll give me time to talk about each product more thoroughly without making the video too long. I typically just focus on makeup in these Empties videos, but if I have any perfume empties, I will save those for the end. And if you're curious what I'm wearing on my lips, I'm wearing one of the blurry lipsticks from Nude in the shade Dia. I think it goes really well with my sweater. I like this color a lot. I'm incredibly surprised to tell you that I finished 2 primers in the last month. Both of them were almost empty by the time the new year came around, but they also didn't take as long as I thought that they would. So the first one is the Milk Makeup Hydro Primer. I talked about this at length in my full face of Milk makeup video. The issue I had with it is that it was a bit finicky with whatever foundation I paired it with. So sometimes it worked really well, sometimes it didn't really do anything, and then often, more often than I thought it would make whatever foundation I have pill up. There are just certain types of formulas that this doesn't work with, and I'd rather my primers not be that difficult. And this took 109 uses to finish, and I used 2 pumps every time I applied it. This other one I really liked, I especially like it in the winter. It's the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer, and I did cut it open and dig it out. I have 1 use left at the very bottom. I forgot to wear primer today. I had it out to film with today, and I forgot to actually wear it. So it would be finished today, but it'll be gone by tomorrow, and I'll insert a picture of it actually being empty, so that you can see it in all of its empty glory. And when I wear this again tomorrow, the last time, it'll be 66 total uses, which is really surprising. I've gone through other primerizers, but it was when it was in the old packaging in like the glass bottle, versus this one I could accidentally push out too much product if I squeeze too hard. I would consider this very oily skin friendly, whether or not you get oily right away or you tend to get more oily throughout the day like I do. This provides enough moisture, but in a really lightweight way. It's not a gel necessarily, it definitely has a slip to it as you're putting it on, but it's really lightweight, it blends in really nicely, and it just helps your skin look a little bit more moisturized before you put on your foundation. And so I really enjoyed wearing this in the winter. I'm glad I finished it now because I likely wouldn't wear it as much in the warmer months. However, I probably wouldn't repurchase again just because the average cost per use is really high. I wore it 66 times, but this is $42 full price. I finished a setting spray from LH Cosmetics. It's the Onset Long Lasting Setting Spray. I believe they have 2. One is a more dewy setting spray, and this one's the more matte version. I wore this 115 times before it was gone. It didn't really have a strong impression of this setting spray either way. It doesn't compete with my top favorites, and I don't think it was the best with oil control. It was literally just okay. Like I don't have anything strong to say about this. Now let's talk about eye products. I have an eyeshadow empty. I am thrilled to have gone through another one of my single shadows. This is a Clionadh single in the shade Prophecy. I'm not entirely sure if they sell this shade anymore, but it was a beautiful duochrome. It might have even been more than a duochrome, I'm not sure, because it had a pink base, but that pink also turned purple, and it had a gold pinky shift on top of that. Stunning. Because it had that little bit of a purple hint to it, I loved pairing it with purple eyeshadows, or just wearing it on its own. You could really sheer it out and create a beautiful effect all over the lid. I love the Clionadh eyeshadow formulas. I have finished other Clionadh singles in the past. Like I said, I don't have exact number of uses, but I did start tracking the uses after I'd hit a pretty significant pan on it, and I wore it an additional 93 times before it was gone. So overall, that's a pretty good amount of use. I think these are around $6 or $7, these duochrome singles. I have a mascara mini. This is from Ilia. It's the Limitless Lash Mascara, and this 100% lives up to the hype. I hear people raving about this, and I understand why. I've mentioned in the past, I just don't really love my lashes right now. We're not on the best terms. My lashes are really thin and they tend to fall out really easily. And there are some parts of the year, I don't know if it's related to allergies or what, but I'll lose like a pretty significant amount of lashes in certain spots. So it just looks really sparse. And you can't really ask a mascara to do much when you don't have lashes there at all. Luckily, I've been having a little bit of a better time with my lashes. I'm just trying to be more gentle with them overall. And so I don't have any gaps right now, but I still wouldn't say my lashes are like at their best. However, with this mascara, it didn't really matter because it does a lot of work. It really, really, really worked with what it had, which wasn't much. It's a really interesting brush because it does have one long spiky flat section and then has more of a curved section as well, but both sides are just a spiky rubber bristle brush, which is what I prefer. And even though the brush is pretty long for the size of my eye, the actual brush itself is small enough that I can really get in there without worrying about getting mascara everywhere, which is something I have trouble with if it's a really big fluffy brush. And also when they're too fluffy and soft, I have trouble actually pushing them through my lashes. This one I didn't have any trouble at all. And because they were different size to it, I could go through and comb and get each lash individually, let it dry for a sec, and then I could turn the wand and apply a thicker coat and add a lot of volume to each lash on top of that. So it really did essentially what I want every mascara to do. I want it to add volume and I want it to lengthen and fan out the actual lashes that I have. It keeps its curl very well and it's incredibly buildable. Like I could add multiple coats and get a more dramatic effect every time. Not every mascara does that. I would absolutely buy this again, and I love that they sell this in a mini. 2 eyeliners coming up next. This one from Make Beauty, I got this as a free gift with purchase, so it's not like I spent the $20 or $30 that this is. Yeah, this is $23 if you were to buy it yourself. And at first, when I first got it, it reminded me a lot of the Marc Jacobs liners, which if Marc Jacobs does come back, I really hope they bring that back because I loved that eyeliner. With it being a gel though, it did dry up really, really fast. And I tried a bunch of different things and I could not get it to work again. So you can see that there's still product in there, but I cannot actually apply it to my lids. Like it does nothing. Like I said, I got it for free as a free gift with purchase, so I don't feel as bad about it. But if you did pay full price for this only for it to dry out like halfway, that would be really disappointing. I really liked it for the first half of its life, and then eventually I did just have to technically declutter it because I couldn't wear it anymore. And it's one of the reasons why I prefer sharpenable eyeliners, because I feel like they stay creamy for longer because they're not exposed to air for as long. Like this sharpenable liner, this is from Essence. It's, I don't even remember what it's called because I've had it for years, and it's ground all the way to the bottom. I wore it until the product actually fell out, and I wore this 356 times until it was gone. It has to be in the top 5 products that take the longest to go through. I wear this on my lower lash line to add some brightness there, and now that it's gone, I do miss it, so I'll likely repurchase this. It's one of the best bangs for my buck within my entire makeup collection because I think this is like $3 or $4. And I realize I have not been giving uses, so what I'll do is I'll give those out at the end because I have 2 more makeup products to talk about. They are both Lawless Cherry Vanilla products. I have a jumbo of their lip gloss and the Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Mask. I have talked about the lip gloss formula a lot. I have a lot of these. I really love them. I've talked about the Lawless gloss formula before. I do really like it. And I really liked this color too. It was a beautiful, more subdued red color. It wasn't like super fully pigmented. I didn't have to be extra careful with it or anything. These are kind of expensive for how many wears you get out of it before it's gone though. So I don't know if it's something I would necessarily go out and buy a bunch more of, although there are some specific shades that I do have my eye on. And then the Lawless mask was really, really nice. I loved this. It was nice and velvety. It was thin, but it was still moisturizing enough to be an overnight lip mask. It didn't really have a taste, but it did have a slight cherry vanilla scent to it, and this is very tingly. I wouldn't say that it made my lips feel drier or was painful in any way, but it is very apparent, and so if you don't like lip products like that, this is not for you. Neither of these are. But this was a treat to use. I remember for the longest time I wanted to try the birthday cake one, and I still do want to try it, but sometimes with like cake related or sweet lip products, sometimes the taste is really gross, and that's what I'm worried about. If it's like this one where it doesn't really have a taste, then that's great. I don't know. Does it taste like anything? If you have the birthday cake one, please let me know. I'll go through the uses of all of these and then we'll talk about my perfume empty at the end. The Milk Primer took 109 uses to finish. The Primerizer took 66. The LH Cosmetics Setting Spray took 115. For all of my mascaras, I typically only wear them for 3 months straight before I consider them done. The Make Liner is only able to wear 40 times before it was completely dried out. The Essence Liner took 356 uses to finish. Prophecy I don't have total numbers for, but I did wear it an additional 93 times after I hit a pretty big pan in it. The Jumbo Lip Gloss from Lawless took 108 uses to finish, and the lip mask surprisingly took 175 uses to finish. Actually, this is really good information to know for me personally. So the lip mask is $22 and this Jumbo Gloss is $38, but you actually get more uses from the mask than you do the gloss. Let me do some calculating really quick so I can give you cost per use data. The Jumbo Lip Gloss from Lawless is 35 cents per use, while the lip mask is actually 13 cents per use. So the cost per use of the mask is around a third of what it costs to wear the lip gloss. Very interesting. I will say I feel like the gloss is a little thicker than the mask though, but it still is very moisturizing. I like a thicker lip mask, and I still really liked this. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are curious about the Lawless line, or maybe you do like a lot of their products. Anyway, let's talk about my perfume. It's a really sad one because I didn't even realize I was that close to being done with it. And so the last time I sprayed it, I didn't even realize it was the last time I was gonna wear it. And that's Nirvana White by Elizabeth and James. They don't make this anymore. I have had some commenters say that they still sell the bourbon one in like Germany and stuff like that. I don't think they sell white anymore anywhere, which was my favorite of the two. And I still have a bottle of bourbon, and it's probably like over halfway full. This was my signature scent for the longest time, and so I am going to be looking for alternatives to this. I have found a couple people suggest different things on like Reddit and stuff, so I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that. I just loved this. This was so good. And I love the packaging too. It's so cute. Really sad that this is gone. But that is everything. I plan on doing my next Empties video probably at the end of April. And I've been doing Empties videos pretty regularly for the entire life of my channel. So if you'd like to see more videos like this, I do have a playlist. But in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video.